Welcome to episode 36, where today I talk about the topic of you're not behind, you're just on your own timeline. Let's get into it. I'm Sandra and this is Unfiltered and Unfazed. Today we are talking about something that silently destroys so many women from the inside out, the feeling that somehow you are behind. Welcome back, queens, and let's get this discussion flowing. Remember, these are my opinions, and from my point of view as a mature woman and my life experiences. Let's see if you agree.
Hi everybody, I'm Sandra and this is Unfiltered and Unfazed. Today we are talking about something that silently destroys so many women from the inside out. The feeling that somehow you are behind. Behind in love, behind financially, behind in your career, behind because you're single, behind because you had to start over, behind because life didn't unfold the way society promised it would. And let me say this loud for every queen in the back. You are not behind. You are not expired. You are not late. You are not less valuable because your life took a different route than someone else's highlight reel on social media. Some of y'all are carrying panic like that was planted by society's timeline, not your soul's timeline. And tonight, we are ripping that pressure off because comparison is stealing women's peace every single day. And I'm tired of watching powerful women shrink because they think they missed some imaginary deadline. So pour that wine, grab that coffee, and sit your beautiful asses down, because this conversation is about to heal something deep.
Who created this timeline anyway? Well, let's find out.
All right, let's really talk about it. Who decided by 25 you should be married? By 30 you should own a house? By 35 you should have it all figured out? By 40 you should have somehow magically become invisible? Who made these rules? Because last time I checked, life doesn't move in straight lines. Some women become mothers young, some become mothers later, and some never become mothers and still live very deeply fulfilled lives. Some women find love at 22. Some women find love at 52 after that divorce, and some finally discover themselves after everyone else leaves. And here's the truth nobody says enough of. A lot of people who looked ahead were actually miserable. Some women stayed in toxic marriages just to avoid looking behind. Some stayed broke, trying to look successful. Some stayed exhausted, trying to keep up appearances. Baby, just because someone reached a milestone first does not mean they reached peace first. There are women envying your freedom while you're envying their timeline. And that's the gag.
Segment 2 is where we get into the fact that social media has women panicking. Here's why.
Let's get on to the next segment. Social media has people out here spiraling. You scroll for 5 minutes and suddenly everybody's engaged, everybody's rich, everybody's glowing, everybody's in Dubai, everybody owns a business, everybody's healed, everybody's thriving. Meanwhile, you're sitting there in your pajamas wondering if your entire life is falling apart. Listen carefully. You are comparing your real life to someone else's curated moments. People post celebration. They rarely post confusion. They post the vacation, not that panic attack before the flight. They post a relationship, not the emotional neglect happening behind closed doors. And the dangerous part, women start measuring their worth by what they haven't done yet. That mindset is poison, because the moment you believe you're behind, you're starting to make desperate decisions. You settle, you rush, you force a relationship, you chase validation, you overwork, you abandon yourself trying to catch up. But catch up to who? There is no universal clock. There is only your journey. I need every woman rebuilding her life to hear me right now, please. Starting over is not failure. Hear me again. Starting over is not failure. Some of the strongest women alive are rebuilding quietly. Why? While smiling publicly. Women leaving toxic relationships, women recovering financially, women healing emotionally, women rediscovering themselves after decades of putting everyone else first. Now, that takes courage. And
Now, let's move on to segment 3, where I discuss the topic of why you should stop shaming your rebuild season. Let's do this, queens.
society acts like reinvention is embarrassing. No, staying stuck in misery, well, that's tragic. Rebuilding is brave. Some of y'all are judging yourself because your life doesn't look how you imagined it would at this age. But maybe, just maybe, the old vision was too small for the woman you're becoming. Maybe life had to break certain things apart so you could finally become you. Sometimes the delay was protection. Sometimes the heartbreak was redirection. And sometimes the loneliness was necessary growth. Everything that feels late isn't punishment. Sometimes it's preparation.
Now for segment 4, age does not determine your value. This is important and a must discuss.
Can we please stop acting like women have expiration dates? Because I'm so tired of society acting like women peak at 25 and disappear at 40. Meanwhile, women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s are starting businesses, finding love, traveling the world, healing, glowing up, setting boundaries, finally choosing themselves. Some women don't fully come alive until later because survival consumed their younger years. And that deserves compassion, not shame. Listen, your value does not decrease because you aged. If anything, you become more powerful, more aware, more selective, more confident, more resilient. Wrinkles are not proof you lost value. They're proof you survived life. And honestly, some women become dangerously magnetic once they stop begging for that approval, that confidence, that peace, that self-awareness. That energy is unmatched.
Love this next segment, segment 5, success doesn't have one look. It's real talk and a need to know. Ready, queens?
Society sells one version of success: luxury, marriage, money, status, followers, titles. Real success might look like peaceful sleep, mental stability, leaving survival mode, paying your bills without panic, healing your nervous system, learning to love yourself, finally saying no, protecting your energy, choosing peace over chaos. That is success too. Some women are rich and emotionally bankrupt. Some are married and deeply lonely. Some look successful publicly, but cry privately every night. Stop idolizing appearances. You do not know what people sacrifice to maintain the image you envy. And some of y'all already have the life your younger self prayed for, but you're too busy comparing to appreciate it. Now, I know that hit some of you hard.
It's that time to move on to segment 6, trust your own timing. Okay, let's get into it now.
One thing I've learned, life unfolds differently for everybody, and forcing life before its time usually creates suffering. You cannot rush healing. You cannot rush growth. You cannot rush clarity. And honestly, some things arrive late because you finally became ready to receive them. The older I get, the more I realize timing matters. Sometimes, if you got what you wanted earlier, you would have destroyed it, or it would have destroyed you. There are relationships you begged for that would have broken you, opportunities you weren't emotionally prepared for, blessings you couldn't have sustained yet. And I know that's hard to hear when you feel impact, but delay does not mean denied. Your story is simply still unfolding.
Segment 7. Stop letting panic drive your decisions. Listen closely to this segment, it's important.
Women make some of their worst decisions when they believe time is running out. They marry from fear, settle from loneliness, overwork from insecurity, stay available to emotionally unavailable people because they think, "Ah, what if this is my last chance?" No, ma'am. Desperation clouds discernment, and panic, well, will have you accepting crumbs just to avoid being alone with yourself. Never let fear choose your future. A delayed blessing is still better than a lifetime mistake. I would rather see a woman alone and peaceful than partnered and emotionally dying inside. And let me say something controversial. Being single is not failure. Being disconnected from yourself, that is.
Last but not least, let's talk about why your life is not a race.
Some people bloom early, some bloom later, some bloom multiple times. Life is not linear. There is no trophy for suffering the fastest, no medal for hitting a milestone first. And honestly, some of the women who look the most together at 30 are completely reinventing themselves at 50. Everybody is figuring out as they go. Everybody. So stop punishing yourself because your path looks different. Different doesn't mean wrong. Maybe your journey required more healing. Maybe your lessons were deeper. Maybe your purpose needed seasoning. But your timeline, well, it's yours. And there is something incredibly powerful about a woman who stops rushing herself.
It's time to wrap this episode up. It's time for the Queen's closing words. Let's begin.
To every queen listening who feels late, who feels behind, who feels like life didn't happen fast enough, please hear me clearly. You are not behind. You are becoming. Your journey does not need to look like anybody else's to be meaningful. Your healing does not need a deadline. Your glow up does not expire with age. Your worth is not tied to a relationship status, money, timelines. Please trust yourself, trust your growth, trust your timing, and stop allowing society to make you panic over life that is still unfolding beautifully. Your story is not over because sometimes the women who bloom later, they bloom the loudest. Thank you so much for taking time to be a better you and for being here with me. You know what we say, you will never be younger or more beautiful than you are today. So live it up, speak your truth, and do you, boo. You are always seen and heard here. Now, go live your life and do it on your fucking timeline. Love you all, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Queens, if there is one thing I want you to take away from today's episode, it's this. You are not late, not behind, and your life is not supposed to look like anyone else. We spend so much time comparing our chapter to someone else, we forget our journey was never meant to be a copy of theirs. As long as you're still breathing, growing, learning, and showing up for yourself, your story is still being written. Your season is coming. Keep going, Queen. The life you're building is worth the wait. Queens, remember this. You have made it, but this is not the end, it's your beginning. Keep going, we're just getting started. Most importantly, always remember you are enough, you are worthy, you are powerful, you are her. Now go be unforgettable.